Here. My name is Amy Mosher. I'm the Strategy and Innovation Leader for Workforce Central Career Center in Worcester. I want to just give you a little bit of a context around my entrepreneurial bloodline and sort of how I come to this, and then we are going to get into my dad, he was a union iron worker, Local 7 in Boston, and he was also a sergeant major in the Marine Corps. I never saw him very much. The man would speak up a lot, and he'd get laid off. And my mom would just be like, oh, like, can't you please? Can you just not speak up all the time and not keep getting yourself laid off? But, you know, he was speaking up for the people's rights, and so he'd always end up getting a job because he had a very, important skill set as an iron worker, walking very high buildings. If you guys ever think about who actually set those frames in those high skyscrapers in Boston and New York, it's just incredible. So that's the kind of guy my dad still is to this day, God bless him. But so he'd be let go a lot, and there he was, looking for work. The man never collected a dime of unemployment in his life because he didn't believe that there was anything called unemployment. It was just that he hadn't met his next paying customer. So that's how my dad thought. So there I was, 4 years old, 6 years old, 8 years old, and all I knew was my dad, he was going to be home this week. So that was awesome for me. I'm 6, and he'd get, okay, honey, pick out a magnet and stick it on the pickup truck, and then we'd go out. We'd either be craftway carpentry. My dad was quite a handyman. He would build picnic tables and sell those to anyone. My mom would say, your father can sell ice cubes to an Eskimo. And I didn't know what that meant. Come to find out, that's not a very complimentary, it's sort of offensive in some ways today. But anyway, so that was a compliment back then. So I'd be riding around with my dad, going to land clients. I'm 6 years old. You need a picnic table. My dad builds the best picnic tables. So we'd go between jobs as a family, finding work, creating work. So why am I telling you guys this? How is this possibly related to what we do as workforce professionals?
In your blood? Really?
It's really in my blood. And in fact, I got one more story for you since you asked. Bless you. I know, I'm a multitasker. So the other story is that my grandmother, God bless her, she actually just passed away this past September. She was almost 95. So she was 16 years old in 1933 with the Great Depression. Nobody could find work. My grandmother at 16, by the way, she had already been kicked out of her high school, not because she was a rebel, but because she had taken too many courses and she was utilizing the school's resources they needed to give to somebody else. So that was my grandmother. 16 years old, Dad, I'm going to find a job. Honey, you're not finding a job. Nobody can find a job. I can't even find a job. Your brothers can't find a job. Nobody's hiring. She said, I'll find a job. So she goes out, this is in Dorchester. Anybody from the Boston area? I'm from Central Mass, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are from nodding your head. So my grandmother, she just started knocking on doors, in various business districts, kind of local neighborhoods. And it was a no, it was a slam door, no, not now. What are you thinking? You're a woman. What? What are you doing? And so one guy said, you know what? I just got a typewriter. Can you type? And my grandmother had never even heard of typing. She'd never seen a typewriter. She said, yes, I can type. Brings her in. He said, I'm going to test you. And so she said, great. She sits down, at a little desk like this. And apparently there's this big black German Shepherd barking in her face. She's petrified of dogs in general, and this is like as big as her. She's tiny. And so he said, take this sheet of paper, and I need you to, without one mistake, type the entire thing. If it's perfectly uniform, you get the job. So my grandmother screwed up across the entire thing. There was no delete button, no whiteout at the time. What did she do? She gave it to the dog, ate my homework. No, that was good. Very clever, very quick. Entrepreneurial thinking, I like it. All right, what she did at 16 years old is she copied every single mistake across the page, the whole way down the page. Gave it to the would-be boss. He said, perfectly uniform. You have the job. Come in on Monday. That's how she got her work, and she supported her family when everyone else couldn't find. I mean, it's incredible. And of course, I had heard that story. When your grandparents get out there and they think they've never told you the story. God bless her, I've heard that story dozens of times. But I think it's quite related to what we're doing. It's all about the entrepreneurial mindset, thinking outside the box, thinking differently, and bringing that capacity to our work in government, in nonprofit, to help folks get jobs. So that's the context. I hope that was useful and somewhat exciting.